Can't
Wow.
believe it. Fecal
What kind of bad
matter.
remediation happened in a few days, man?
It's the sewage that's pouring into that place. So it's not just E. coli, it's fecal matter. So people are using the bathroom and then the rains were heavy. But yesterday, so everything has happened at Paris so far. So there were the heavy rains, there were the plenty rains. You saw that at the opening ceremony. Now there's the heat wave.
Wow.
In fact, during some of the events, they'll be announcing, remember to put your sunscreen, protect yourself from the sun, get a hat, get an umbrella. Yes, there's a heat wave. There was a heat wave yesterday. So from intense rain to heat wave. I'm just waiting for it to snow in summer. Then I know that it has all happened at the Paris Olympics.
Wow. Everything that's happened has happened, really.
Everything that's supposed to have has happened. All right. On that note, there'll be more coming in from the Olympics and from football. Last night, Manchester City played Barcelona. Um, that match ended 2-2, and then there was a penalty shootout, which Barcelona completely blitzed. We'll be talking about more football stories, transfers, and all inside of the locker room. But before we do any more talking, Zibby,
All right.
tell us, how can we be a part of the locker room this morning?
The WhatsApp number is 0809 440 981. You can also tweet at smooth981. And we're also streaming live on YouTube. So you can catch the live stream. You can post your comments on there, smooth981. Don't forget to subscribe as well.
All right. On that note, headlines first, and then we'll take the stories one after the other.
Olympics 2024, how Super Falcons can qualify for knockout stage. Paris Olympics, Nigerian sprinter Favor Ofili blames AFN NOC for exclusion from 100 meters events. Tennis wrap, Nadal and Alcaraz turn up the heat, golf knocked out. France to play Argentina in Olympic quarterfinals. No Chelsea action against Fernandez for derogatory song. Chelsea transfer news. Blues interested in Napoli striker Victor Osimhen with Romelu Lukaku heading the other way. Atletico Madrid in Chelsea talks over Gallagher. I'll decide after Olympics. And this according to Alvarez on Man City future.
All right. Those are the stories. I will touch on that Chelsea story as we go on. Everybody's anti-racism until it's time to take action. We'll talk about that later. But first, let's start with what is happening with the Super Falcons. Big day today for the Super Falcons of Nigeria. As we see how we can survive what could be a day of exit or a day of renewed hope.
Okay. Nigeria Super Falcons are on the verge of elimination from Paris 2024 following successive defeats to Brazil and Espana.
Yes, so it's an interesting moment for the Super Falcons, but it is not over. Yes, they've lost the first two matches by 1-0. However, they can still qualify as best loser from their group based on today's results and favorable results elsewhere. Let's start from favorable results elsewhere. Now, remember that Japan defeated Brazil in their last match to get 3 points. Brazil defeated Nigeria to get 3 points. So Spain is a team of 6 points. Brazil is on 3 points. Japan on 3 points. Nigeria on 0. Now, if Spain should decide that we are not resting any players, we are not sure we are going to top the group. So let's just do all we can to top the group. And they come out full throttle against Brazil and defeats Brazil, it leaves Brazil on 3 points. Now, Super Falcons have to defeat Japan by a 2-goal margin because they've considered 2 goals and not scored any. So they have to defeat Japan by a 2-goal margin to get any chance to have any hopes of remaining at this tournament. And so if they're able to do that, then they can qualify for the next round. But again, all this is mathematics, permutation, calculation, and some soaking of chaplain inside water. That's all we are doing here. Because the Japanese team, again, they are also inspired. And one of the best teams in women football have come up several times at major tournaments and delivered results. So I understand if you watch the Japanese team, those guys played, sorry, those ladies played till 97 minutes.
Tega?
Sorry. Those that team played till they were playing constantly till the end of extra time. Like Brazil at some point thought they were winning this match. In fact, everybody thought Brazil was winning the match. And then Japan came and scored 2 goals in the last 10 minutes of the game. So they are a team that just keeps going. And it will take more than just concentration from Super Falcons, but great determination from the Super Falcons of Nigeria. In fact, they have to channel their inner the Tigresses for them to get a yes, that's what they have to do for them to get a result against Japan today. It's not impossible. It's just the toughest road that they could have taken. For me, like I said, once I saw the draws, the easiest thing to do should have been to beat Brazil, which was the low hanging fruit. But they didn't pluck that low hanging fruit. So now they have to go through a tougher route of trying to beat Japan on the last day to qualify for the next round. It's not impossible, probably improbable, but this is football and anything has happened here before, so anything can happen today.
All right. 0809 440 That is the WhatsApp number. Let us know your thoughts. One of Nigeria's prospects at the ongoing Paris Olympics, Favor Ofili, will not be participating in the women's 100-meter athletics event, which she'd looked forward to. Now she's placed the blame on the shoulders and heads and necks of the country's sports body.
And the blame is squarely there. So let's talk about Favor Philly. She used to be a student athlete. She decided to go professional. And in going professional, she had targeted her life to running in the 100 meters and the 200 meters. In fact, all she's been doing this year, I mean, most people would say she was better at the 200 meters prior to this year, but all she's been doing from last year to this year is trying to qualify for the Olympics 100 meters. So she has run, she has run 8 races this year. Last year, she put a lot of races in just to do that 100 meters because really, that's where the glamour, that's where the focus, that's where the eyes, that's where the funding comes from. And so this lady traveled around the world, came to Benin for the qualifiers, was used, they didn't even have the starting block. They had to use human beings to do starting block at some point in some of the qualifiers. Yes. This
Wow.
human being, yeah, she beat all the odds and qualified for the 100 meters and prepared herself to get ready to participate at the 100 meters Olympics, only for her to find out that despite the fact she had qualified for the 100 meters at the Olympics, the NOC did not register her on the World Athletics. Yes. Now, there are conflicting stories. Some people said that on the NOC list, of course, she was on the 100 meters finals, but that she, as an athlete, should have taken the extra pain to continue browsing through the World Athletics channel to see if her name was registered. And maybe if she had seen her name was registered earlier, that she would have been able to do something about it. My point is, as an athlete, even if you're Nigerian, how many things do you want to do? You do your job, you do your administrator's job. Now, the some people are that were working at the with the administrators came out to say that look, if they had put her in for the 100 meters, it meant that once the track and field started, she'd have to be running every day of the track and field, which may not be good for recovery because she was in 100 meters, 200 meters, and 4x100 meters. And there are no breaks in between all those races. Like there are no break days in between all those races. My point is, the AFN do not determine for her whether she can compete in the 100 meters and 200 meters. The ideal thing that the technical committee should have done would have been that, look, Ophelia, this is the schedule. and there will be no breaks inside. So which race would you rather compete in? Then the athlete gets the opportunity to decide what she runs in. It's not that she would have been preparing for a tournament. Then she wakes up and finds out that, oh, you have not been registered for a tournament. Can you imagine? And you have to remember that Favour Philly also traveled to Tokyo 4 years ago, only to find out that she was one of those 13 athletes that couldn't compete because the federation did not complete their out of competition test. There are 4 compulsory out of competition tests. So this is 8 years in a row that the administration has failed her. And you know, Olympics is once every 4 years. So age is not even on her side. So now, back-to-back Olympics, administration has failed this athlete.
Wow.
What gave them the right to determine which one she will compete in? And they didn't even tell her. She now found out only a few days to the competition. It is maddening. It is maddening. How do you continue to compete for a federation that lets you down at every turn?
Consistent.
Back-to-back championships, my sister. Back-to-back Olympics. What do we have to do for people to do their jobs? Now they're all scrambling and making excuses. She would have had to compete every day. Is it your competition? Why didn't you sit her down? As the technical committee is supposed to sit her down and say, you know what, Favour, this is the situation. But that's not what happened. Somebody failed to register her, and now they're making this as the excuse. And even if that was the excuse, it should have been communicated to her when the decision was supposed to be made, not after she finds out that she can't compete. I don't know how these athletes do it. If it's not the tigresses that are being punished and left off the boat at the opening ceremony after making a 2.5 hour bus travel to the opening ceremony in Paris, it is Favour Philly finding out that she cannot compete at an event that she had practiced all year for and she qualified for. It's just that every time you wake up in the morning, you're just like, oh, not this federation again.
Wow.
Not this. At some point in time, we are going to, I don't even, maybe, we are always talking about, oh, the footballers are not performing well. Let's hire foreign coaches. Maybe we should hire foreign administrators. I've said this thing before. Maybe we should hire foreign, because they simply didn't do their jobs. And she is one of our medal hopefuls. You can argue about whether she can beat the Jamaicans or whether she can beat the Americans. The fact is, around the world this year, she's top 5.
Wow.
Give her the opportunity to compete on the day and see what happens. She doesn't even have that choice now because she wasn't registered. And guess what? No heads will roll. Take it to the bank. No heads will roll. They will find out an excuse for why she should have known, and everybody will move on. No heads will roll. Sad.
Well, you're in the locker room on Smooth 98.1. Now we see your messages coming through. Please keep them coming. We'll take them. And of course, more sports stories on the other side. It's the locker room brought to you by Visa.
All right, when we come back, that's when we'll do the hype.
Sorry?
I said when we come back, that's when we'll do the hype.
Okay. So now, as she can't do this 100 meters, can she at least do the 200?
Yeah, she's doing the 200 and the 4x100, but 100 meters was her target. That's where her funding comes from.
Man, I don't know. All this incompetence is so crazy, especially when it has an impact on people's lives.
At this point in time, is it incompetence or just bad habits?
It's like listening to a symphony.
When it's just happening over and over again, everywhere you turn, there's somebody that has not done their job. Ministry of Sport. Everywhere you turn. Yes.
And everyone else. It's just ridiculous.
And now they're blaming her. They're like, but she should have. Somebody came to Benin, qualified for the Olympics.
Do your own bit.
Do your own bit. You're not saying she should have been chasing down. Really? Oh girl.
No accountability whatsoever.
This is
Looking for excuses now.
News Breakfast Show.
You're inside the locker room on Smooth 98.1. It's Tega and Zibby. We're talking all about sports and we'd love to hear from you as well. So WhatsApp 0809 440 981. We're streaming live on YouTube. You can post your comments on there and you can also subscribe so you don't miss out on other live streams. And let's get into it. It's the locker room brought to you by Visa.
All right. So whilst we're talking about the Olympics, let's talk about one of the partners of the Olympics, Visa, the official technology payment partner of the Olympic Games happening in Paris 2024. Now they have this thing going on. It's the summer with Visa dollar card offering. So this summer, if you're traveling, there are some exclusive traveling offerings for Nigerians traveling this summer. If you're traveling to Paris for the Olympics, or if you're going on to websites, or if you want to unlock your passion for exploration, pay with Visa when you travel globally and within the country. Now, Visa are the exclusive payment partner for individuals and merchants looking to secure and efficient ways to make payments. Now, if you're trying to take that long overdue vacation, be sure to tap in and redeem all of Visa's exclusive offerings when you use your Visa dollar cards for flights, because flights are crazy, for hotel bookings so that you can get them cheaper, and the one that is sweetest to me, for shopping. All right. So there's a lot of offerings on Visa. So for more customized offers, just go to visa.com.ng and check out all the offers and all the benefits you can get from using your Visa dollar card this summer when you travel for the Olympics or when you just travel for your summer vacation. Remember, you can check at visa.com.ng to see all the benefits and all the offerings you can get of your flight booking, your hotel booking, and your shopping. All right, let's go to the next story at the Olympics because a lot is happening at the Olympics. People are calling them Nadal Caras. I think Nakaras is a better name. So let's touch on Nadal and Carlos Alcaraz playing the doubles at the Olympics because at this point in time, it's bucket list for everybody.
Well, Spain's raging bulls, Rafael Nadal and Carlos Alcaraz, have blazed into the quarterfinals of the Olympics men's doubles as the temperature certainly reached boiling point at Roland Garros on Tuesday. You're muted, Tega.
Can you hear me now? Sorry.
Yeah.
Like I said, if you saw the crowd, first of all, every single break, there was a fan, there was an announcement, there were places for water, to be drank. Just go here, you have water. If you want to pour your water on your head, it was hot, off court. But on court, it was even blazing more. Now, I think it's the most beautiful thing that Nadal and Carlos Alcaraz have linked up. And I want to thank Spain for giving us this spectacle. Because at this point in time, they're not just playing tennis. They're not just entertaining us. They're giving us goals. And so we're watching these great guys on clay just deliver shot after shot and result after result. And it's spectacular to see. There was one particular shot that Nadal gave. I was just like, why are we watching this magic for free? Okay, it's not free. People paid for their tickets. Even I paid for my subscription. It's not free, but it shouldn't be this cheap. That kind of magic, beautiful magic. But yeah, they're through to the quarterfinals now. But they're not the only ones doing magic on the court. Carlos and Nadal. Even Andy Murray has reached the quarterfinals with Danny Evans. And of course, he was a bit emotional because, everybody knows this is kind of like the end of the road for him. Oh, I mean, if you are really a Nadal follower, you should know that this is the end of the road for both of them. But the Nadal Alcaraz were dropping magic. Murray and Danny Evans were dropping determination. I think that's the difference between both of them. One is magical, one is hard work. You can see all the effort that goes into it. But either way, it was beautiful to watch, which leads me to now what wasn't beautiful to watch yesterday. Coco Gauff again. She was playing against Donna Vekic. She was leading in the first set. Unfortunately, she was broken when she was serving for the set, and she eventually lost that first set. But something happened in the second set. So this has happened twice this year, I must mention. So again, the Navekic plays a serve. It was called out, and then it was called out before Coco Gauff hits her serve. Unfortunately, the umpire corrects the call, and Coco Gauff had hit her return, into the net. They now gave the point to Dona Vekic. And Coco Gauff was just like, you can't do that. The call affected my serve. The umpire was like, no, the call did not affect your serve. So the point goes to her. And so we had 5 minutes of back and forth. And then Coco Gauff now crying in the middle of the tournament. Eventually she lost the match. And people are, I mean, everybody that's watching the tournament, I love people are looking at it and saying, she could have just gotten on with it. But when you are already down on the scorecard, and then they are clearly shortchanging you again with the calls, it can be frustrating. And whilst you say, oh, Iga Swiatek would have just gone on with it, she's not Iga Swiatek. And most in general, Iga Swiatek doesn't get this kind of bad calls. Iga Swiatek gets bad draws. Like, she will get very tough draws. That is the one thing I know she can get. Her draws to defending her championship or to playing in a championship can be tough. But during the match, barely. But some other people will get bad calls and they stop and talk. But every time it is Coco Gauff or Serena Williams, I'm not going to mention anything beyond the two people I've mentioned. But there is a pattern here. And it generally happens in this French crowd. There's clearly a pattern. I will not call it what I think it is. Let's just leave that for France and Argentina to resolve in their own private time. But there is clearly a pattern here, and it happens here. And people just start reacting as if these particular women have a problem. But I'm thinking that there's a similarity between these women that nobody wants to talk about. Let's just leave it for that. Bottom line, Coco Gauff has been dumped out of the Open. If you ask me, I think she should have shaken it off. But me that I think about myself, I know I don't used to shake off those kind of things. Because it just seems targeted. It just seems targeted. Third time this year.
Now, host France will play Argentina in the Olympic men's quarterfinals after progressing to the last 8 by beating New Zealand to top Group A.
Exactly. Now, this is fast becoming a rivalry that nobody expected. France-Argentina. We know about Argentina-Brazil. Nobody expected that France-Argentina will become the rivalry in football, and for many things in recent years, starting from the World Cup all the way till the song on the bus and even now. But yes, they have been drawn against each other. Now, both teams haven't, Argentina didn't play a brilliant first game, but from the second and third games, they've been pretty decent. Not convincingly different, but pretty decent. The French, on the other hand, you can question maybe their opposition, but they play a little more brilliantly. Now, both of them square up against each other. It's Mascherano versus Thierry Henry in the coaching box, and then France versus Argentina, and then the French crowd versus the Argentine crowd. The first thing I want to say is security must be tight, because that's the first place we should secure. The crowd, yes, security should be 100%. If not, there will be crowd trouble. Then the Argentine players should get ready for anything that's about to happen. Because even at some points, the referees are humans and they may be influenced by a crowd making noise. So let's see how it pans out for them. I would say on paper and based on their performance, it should be advantage the French. Like they're playing at home, they have a better team, they create better chances, they are more solid defensively. But like I said, this is football, and on the game day, anything can happen.
Well, Chelsea onto football will take no action against Edward Fernandez for singing a derogatory song about France's black players after he apologized to several French teammates.
Well, the report is that he apologized for posting that video on social media. The apology did not categorically say, I'm sorry for singing the song.
So it's
But I
about
wasn't there.
posting.
I wasn't there. The report is saying that he apologized for posting the controversial video. The report did not say he apologized for singing the song. But maybe he apologized for singing the song to his teammates. I wasn't at the apology. But the teammates accepted the apology, and Chelsea now decided that based on that, they are not going to carry out any more further action. And that is where the madness begins. How dare you? How dare you? You can say because of his apology, he's still going to be on the team. You can say because of the apology, we are going to reduce the consequences. But you cannot say that you are fighting racism and you're letting somebody that committed a racial offense go because he said sorry. There has to be consequences. And that rubbish about him, I'm going to contribute towards the anti-racism campaign, is balderdash. That's not punishment. We can't throw money at it. The punishments have to be severe so that the deterrent will be there. So you can't say, oh, he has said sorry, so let's not punish this any further. That's not punishment for racism. So it just concludes the point that everybody is anti-racist until they really have to take action. If they are not taking any further action because he said he's sorry, then they are not anti-racist. They are just PR anti-racist. It's that simple.
And absolutely.
Then again, you see why I don't like that club. I told you, no culture, no tradition.
Okay, I will let you have this moment. Still on Chelsea transfer news, they're interested in signing Victor Osimhen from Napoli as negotiations continue over Romelu Lukaku headed in the opposite direction.
And this one caused a lot of fracas. So one good source had said that, oh, Chelsea are in talks with Victor Osimhen to get him here, and it looks like that deal is all but done. Another person comes out, another good source on social media comes out to say that his agent has denied that there is any conversation about him moving to Chelsea. So this is still rumors back and forth. But clearly there is a discussion going on somewhere, and clearly somebody is eyeing somebody for this thing to come out like this. But yes, Victor Osimhen to Chelsea looks like it is a thing. The question I want to ask Chelsea fans is, will you be kind to him? Because you were not kind to Fernando Torres. Like, Fernando Torres went to Chelsea and his career died. In fact, a lot of strikers have struggled at Chelsea. So will you be kind to Victor Osimhen? The number to send your messages to are
0809 4440981. I think we should read some of the messages. We are
all right. So let's hear those. Yes, let's hear those messages now. All right.
Okay. AY from Oniru says, how did the Athletics Federation fail to register Favor Ofili, a 200-meter African record holder who is one of our best Nigerian athletes and a very realistic chance of winning medals for Nigeria at the Olympic Games? I can't seem to wrap my head around this mystery. Benga says,
okay, they didn't fail to record her. They failed to record her for the 100 meters. She's still going to compete in 200 meters and 4x100 meters. They just failed to record her for 100 meters, which is where she wanted to really participate and which is what she had practiced for all through 2024.
Benga says, I don't see how a team that can't string 4 passes will beat Japan. Why must our Nigerian teams make it difficult to qualify at tournaments? The Olympic quest for the Super Falcons is done. Finished. Kaput. Otilo. Big E says, the only question I have today is, why was Coco crying on court? Why? Big E, why shouldn't she cry? Why?
Very good question. I don't know why people always expect these athletes to be robots.
Like, they're human, aren't they? Femi from Ikeja says, no consequences to officials in Nigeria, so they don't change. Fred, I don't know why you deleted your message, but okay. This one is Chiemeka. Chiemeka says Nigeria keeps doing the worst to her people because there's no consequence. I feel devastated for Ophili. Very sad. Shegun says our sport admins need to be axed and banned for the mistakes done to many. And now Karaz is the past, present, and future combination. Let's see. Emeka Onelum says if athletes like Faith or Philly decide to dump Nigeria and start winning gold for another country, I won't blame her. This is why I don't blame athletes like Francis Obikwelu. Oh, yes. Where is Francis Obikwelu? Who left Nigeria to represent Portugal?
I'm telling you, he moved quickly.
He did. And he started actually improving and winning at least silver and bronzes. Okay. Almost out of time, but let's see on YouTube. LK Adereba says, Tega don't come for Chelsea like that. You didn't do the same for Barca when they had racism issues. However, I think Chelsea should have taken further steps. I watched a video on how our Tigresses were treated and now favor of Philly. What is wrong with the Federation? I guess it's a reflection of the country as a whole. They are truly disorganized.
Okay. On that note, we want to thank you for sending in your messages to Smooth 98.1 FM. Want to thank you for for tuning in to listening to the Locker Room. Want to thank you for streaming Locker Room on YouTube live. And Elka Adirogba, I am going to continue coming for your club side who are supporting. I know. On that note, thank you so much and have a great week.
That is it for the Locker Room, brought to you by Visa. Stay with us. Lagos Talks starts from 9 a.m.